Hello and welcome to Devil's Advocate. Are there differences within the BJP over the 1-2-3 agreement, or is there confusion in LK Advani's own position? Those are twin issues I shall explore with former Foreign Minister Yashwant Sinha. Mr. Sinha, let me start with a simple question. Are senior leaders of the BJP saying different things on the 1-2-3 agreement?
Not at all.
You say not at all, but can
I'll explain. Yeah, I'll explain. You see, what has happened, unfortunately, is that on the Indo-US nuclear deal, not only is the country divided, but even the media is divided. So a section of the media which is campaigning for the deal is hanging by every straw they can find to create confusion.
You are such an artful politician. You're blaming the media.
No,
and you're
sir,
doing it with a smile. Give me a moment to tell you why I think you're being, how shall I put it, too clever by half. Speaking to the Indian Express on the 27th of August, LK Advani said there is no problem with the 1-2-3 agreement, and he's never denied saying it. He hasn't retracted those words.
No,
in India Today, in the same week, what did you say? You said the 1-2-3 agreement is a bad deal for India. The 1-2-3 agreement with the US must be scrapped. That's a wide difference between you and LK Advani.
Absolutely. If you read what precedes this particular quote of Mr. Advani, you will find that what he had said was that if we were to amend the Atomic Energy Act of India, will that take care of the objections that we have? And this was a suggestion made to him that we could look at it from that point of view, and this is the part which has been smuggled. This is, let me make it very clear, that only a selective part has been smuggled into it without the background. You can't have no objection to 1-2-3 and still talk about the...
I let you on purpose say that fully. It's only fair that you should put your side of the story. Actually, if you look at the sentence that precedes the quotation I read, this is what it says. There is no problem with the 1-2-3 agreement. Our opposition is to the Hyde Act. Now, let me finish. Now let me quote to you what the BJP's official position articulated on the 4th of August in a press release is. That press release says the BJP is of the clear view that this agreement is an assault on our nuclear sovereignty and our foreign policy options. We are therefore unable to accept this agreement. What does Mr. Advani say? There is no problem with the 1-2-3 agreement.
No,
he's not only contradicting you, he's contradicting his own party.
No, sir. This is the point I am making, that you are reading only one part of it. Suppose he said that we should amend, this is what he said, we should amend our laws and then see whether the objections to the 1-2-3 agreement could be taken care of. And in that context, he said, then we will have no objection to the 1-2-3 agreement. Further, let me tell you.
Interesting that you claim that he's been quoted either out of context or half the quotations have been used and half haven't. In the statement that Mr. Advani put out, he neither said he hadn't said these things, nor did he say he was quoted out of context, nor did he say that his words were twisted. In fact, he hasn't said anything to contradict what he said to Indian Express. So when you say this on his behalf...
what has he said? Finally, if you are looking at his statement...
Right, I'll come to that.
Why he has said 1-2-3 agreement should be renegotiated.
Absolutely. So this is the point I'm making. Not only has Mr. Advani contradicted you, not only has he contradicted the 4th August position of the BJP, but now he's ended up contradicting himself. On Monday, as I quoted to you, he said to the Indian Express, there is no problem with the 1-2-3 agreement. In a statement issued on Thursday, he says, we should renegotiate the 1-2-3 agreement.
Because,
so suddenly, in 4 days, he's flip-flopped, contradicted himself and confused the issue.
I'm sorry, I can't agree with you. This is absolutely wrong interpretation of what Mr. Advani said. You are reading just one twisted sentence of what Mr. Advani might have said, but you are not reading the whole text of the interview. Mr. Advani said, it puts India in strategic subservience. He said it's an unequal deal, and anyone in his right senses would say, after saying all this, that I have no objection to the 1-2-3 agreement.
He said all of that with reference to the Hyde Act. He distinguished between the Hyde Act and the 1-2-3. He said our opposition is to the Hyde Act. He said the 1-2-3 we have no problem with.
No, but when he said it is an unequal treaty, then what was he referring to?
He didn't say it was an unequal treaty.
He said that, you read it.
He didn't. In fact, Mohan Bhagwat is reported as General Secretary of the RSS to have rung up LK Advani and appreciated the change. So he, in fact, clarifies two things. Mohan Bhagwat clarifies, A, that Advani attempted to change the BJP's position, to contradict you and contradict 4th August. And secondly, Mohan Bhagwat appreciated and applauded the change. And then what does Advani do? He goes back on the change and contradicts himself. So what I'm saying to you is that not only has Mr. Advani contradicted you and the party, he's contradicted himself.
Have you talked to Mr. Mohan Bhagwat? This is what I am saying.
Has Mr. Bhagwat denied it?
In the surcharge, no, you don't deny every, nobody has the time to go on deny. This will be Mr. Karan Thapar, this will then become a full-time job for all politicians, that you people say one thing, write one thing, and we go on
But do you know the consequence of what you're suggesting? That you allow confusion to continue, you allow the leader of the opposition to appear that he's contradicted his party and himself. Mr. Bhagwat, by not denying it, is letting confusion prevail.
That's absolutely immaterial. This is what I'm saying. In the surcharge atmosphere of the country on the Indo-US nuclear deal, everyone is trying to add chips to their own case. This is very unfortunate. But this is not how it should be.
This is very interesting. You use the phrase, they're all trying to add chips to their own case. Actually, the problem is what Mr. Advani's done is to add chips to the left case, because his new position that the 123 should be renegotiated is identical to the left position. Far from differentiating the BJP from the left, he's collapsed the BJP's opinion with the left. He's adopted the left position.
No, I don't agree with that at all.
It's the identical position taken by the left.
Let me tell you that when we had a debate on the nuclear deal last year in Rajya Sabha, and after the Prime Minister's reply, Mr. Sitaram Yechuri got up and he said what the Prime Minister has said represents the sense of the House. And I immediately got up and contradicted him. And I said this does not represent the sense of the House.
Quite right.
Because
you contradicted him.
No.
Not L.K. Advani.
No, L.K. Advani is not a member of Rajya Sabha.
L.K. Advani is today speaking Sitaram Yechuri's language.
No, he is not. He's not. This is the language
and Bardhan's language.
This is the, when did we put out our statement? On the 4th of August. When did left come out with their statement? Many days later.
Quite right. And who contradicted the 4th of August? L.K. Advani.
No,
and who then failed to clarify?
No,
L.K. Advani.
Absolutely not.
Let me pause and let me try and understand then what L.K. Advani is suggesting when he says that amendments need to be considered in India's Atomic Energy Act to strengthen India's position vis-a-vis the Hyde Act. What specific amendments does he have in mind?
You see, a suggestion was made to him that maybe we can take care of our concerns.
Quite right.
By amending the Atomic Energy Act.
But what amendments?
This is the matter.
You say, okay, what amendments?
No. Let me complete, Karan. Then this will be examined. There could be 10, 12 amendments, and I'll suggest only one. Or two. Okay, let me give it one or two. Suppose we were to say in our Atomic Energy Act that India has the sovereign right to test in its supreme national interest.
But you don't have to say that. India does have that right. You don't have to put it in an act to give yourself the right.
Not after the 1954 Act of the US and the Hyde Act.
This is very strange. You don't give yourself a sovereign right by putting it in a parliamentary bill. That right is there regardless of the parliamentary bill. It's as if you're suggesting without legislation you don't have a sovereign right.
If another country's legislation is denying you that right, then you can assert it by incorporating it. Then the second thing is, we could say in that amendment that once we have received supplies of nuclear material from any country, it will not be returned.
The position Siddharth Varadarajan took in the Hindu on the 20th of August, you're talking about those amendments.
I'm saying that there could be many amendments.
Okay, but tell me something. Are these amendments that you're now bringing up your own, or are they amendments that Mr. Advani had in mind? Because the interesting thing is Mr. Advani, having suggested amendments would help, didn't tell us what the amendments were. He left that vague. In fact, he left it unsaid.
No, he left it unsaid because the suggestion that he received needed further examination. But
then why go public if it needs further examination? It's a half-formed idea which he's presenting as a fully formed solution.
No, it's not a half-formed idea and not a fully formed solution. A suggestion was made to him. As you are saying, suggestion was written about in the Hindu. He looked at the suggestion and he said, could we examine this solution also? And we'll examine it. So what's the problem with this?
Except for the fact that's not how he said it the first time around. In his amended statement of Thursday, he moderated what he said to say, let's examine a suggestion.
Because...
Let me finish to the express. What he said was that, in fact, if amendments are made, right, without specifying what they were, we will have no problem. So he shifted from a certain and definite position to a tentative and exploratory position. Once again, even on this little issue, he's changed his position, flip-flopped, and apparently contradicted himself.
No, he has not. If you are convinced he has contradicted himself, and I am convinced he has not contradicted himself, let's live with this difference.
All right. let's live with this difference. Let's take a break and let's forget about LK Advani. Whether he's contributed himself, his conscience alone will answer and the party alone will suffer. Let's come back and talk about your concerns with the 1, 2, 3 agreement.
The
That's in a
party's
moment's
concern.
time. See you after the break. Welcome back to Devil's Advocate and an interview with former Foreign Minister Yashwant Sinha. Mr. Sinha, let's come to your concerns with the 1, 2, 3 agreement. Writing in the Asian Age on the 30th of July, you said, the Indo-US nuclear deal is neither good for us nor for our future relationship with the US. Does the leader of the opposition agree with that position?
I don't know. Mr. Advani would have seen that article, but I have not frankly discussed this with him, because what I wrote in the Asian Age was my view.
Does your party agree with this view?
I have not really gone around asking the party whether they agree with this view or not. We write pieces in our personal capacity.
All right.
I wrote that piece in my personal capacity, and I felt, I expressed what I felt.
A couple of days before you wrote that piece, in an interview to India Abroad News Service, you said, and I quote, if we return to power, we will reconsider the deal. Does LK Advani, as leader of the opposition and your possible future prime minister, agree with that position?
We had already discussed this matter, and we had agreed that if the deal were to go through in its present form, which we had decided was unacceptable, then obviously it flows from it logically that we'll reconsider and renegotiate.
Well, let me be specific. Who is we when you say we?
We is the senior most leadership of the BJP,
including LK Advani?
Including Mr. LK Advani, which considers our responses to a developing situation.
So you're saying to me that LK Advani is party to a decision that you will reconsider the deal if you come to power, particularly if it goes through in its present form?
Absolutely, and you know,
so LK Advani supports this position.
We were discussing Mr. Advani's statement a little while ago, and I told you that if you read the sentence where he says renegotiate, then if the present government were not to renegotiate, we will renegotiate.
To be honest, what you're doing is adding 2 and 2 and coming to 4. He hasn't quite said it the same way. You're saying this is the implication that logically flows from the position he's taken on other issues.
Yes.
And the fact that he was part of this leadership meeting that found the deal unacceptable.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're interpreting him. You're interpreting him. You're interpreting him.
No, this is absolutely correct. There is no other way of looking at it.
Let's come to your specific concerns with the 1, 2, 3. In the press release put out by you on August the 4th, you said that India had not got clear-cut assurances on lifetime supplies of fuel and it hadn't got access to nuclear technologies.
Absolutely.
Tell me, how will amending India's laws tackle this?
Well, we could say, as I mentioned to you, that we will have the right to reprocess, for instance. I find that reprocessing right has been postponed and all kinds of conditions have been attached to it.
But if we
and
claim
arrangements
the right to
and procedures will be determined in future.
But listen to me for a moment, Mr. Sinha. We may claim whatever right and we may pass it into bills in our parliament, but that doesn't mean to say the world outside is going to give us that right. So if you haven't got these 2 important things in the 1, 2, 3, changing India's laws is not going to give them to you.
Changing India's laws will ensure that the 1, 2, 3 agreement will be renegotiated in the light of the changes in our law.
All right, that's what you say. Secondly, speaking to CNBC on the 20th of August, you said, the 1, 2, 3, and I quote, raises the bar and makes it very difficult for us to go for any test in the future if such a test becomes necessary. Once again, how will amending India's laws change this?
Because when I told you that it raises the bar, what I meant was that if you have made billions of dollars of investment and you are dependent on fuel supplies from foreign countries and they were to stop the fuel supply as a result of our testing, then we have raised the bar. We have raised the cost of that.
Quite right, the cost gone up, but how will changing India's laws bring the cost down?
Changing India's laws will make it clear to the world that they are negotiating on terms which we have clearly spelled out in our laws.
In other words,
for instance, let me say that we receive supply of a nuclear reactor from any country in the world. We will say, you undertake, give us a guarantee in this commercial agreement that you will assure us fuel supplies for the lifetime of the reactor.
Once again, you're quoting an amendment written about by Siddharth Varadarajan in the Hindu. Very interesting that 2 of the amendments that you're suggesting that could strengthen India's position vis-a-vis the Hyde Act are in fact amendments suggested by Siddharth Varadarajan in the Hindu, a man who is palpably on the left side of the divide. Once again, I come back to the point I made in part 1. By going down this particular route, you are collapsing your position in the left position.
No.
Siddharth Vardharaj has advocated it.
No,
Sitaram Yechury has said he believes there's a lot of merit in it. The Business Standard says that the CPI is considering the same thing. And now what do I find? The BJP is in agreement with exactly the same set of policies.
So what's a harm?
Except that you're not distinguishing yourself from the left.
We are
You're collapsing in the left.
No. We are distinguishing ourselves from the left. Let me make it very clear that what we are saying is in our national interest, not born out of anti-American.
Oh, the left say that what they're saying is in the national interest too. They deny they're anti-American. That's a label you're sticking on them, not one that they accept.
No. For instance, we are not opposing the naval exercises. We are not opposing many other things.
Let me come back to your specific concerns with the 123 agreement. Again, speaking to CNBC on the 20th of August, you said, and I quote, "The Hyde Act has many prescriptive provisions, restrictive provisions, which we regard as humiliating for India. No independent sovereign country should ever accept these kind of conditionalities." Tell me, how will amending India's laws take care of this?
It will take care in the sense that we will never accept an agreement which flows out of the Hyde Act. Hyde Act is US domestic law.
But don't you see the problem that you're creating?
No, the problem...
Mr. Advani is now advocating, and this has become the position of the party after the clarification put out on Thursday, that amendments to India's laws will take care of the problems you have. I'm saying that the problems you have cannot be tackled. Either Mr. Advani doesn't share your specific concerns, or he's advocating a solution that doesn't take care of them. One or other has to be the case.
Let me make it very clear. You are harping repeatedly, going back to what Mr. Advani said.
Because that's where the confusion comes from.
No, that's not where the confusion is. Let me explain once again. Mr. Advani said this is a suggestion which is worth examining. Now, we will examine it. If we find that your objections to it are valid, then we need not take that route.
So what you're now saying is very interesting. If you examine the suggestion, and it's only a suggestion, and then discover that it's not valid, you'll give up the suggestion. So this is not the party's position. This is an interim half measure that has to be examined. If it's found wanting, you'll jettison it.
Karan, if you're determined to put BJP, project BJP in a bad light.
I'm not projecting the BJP in a bad light. I'm simply finding the bottom line.
No, all the time you are coming back to this one issue, that there is confusion in the BJP. I am saying there is no confusion in the BJP. Siddharth Vardharaj has made a suggestion in the Hindu. Nobody is finding fault with Siddharth Vardharaj. If Advani ji said this, then you are trying to rip him apart and rip BJP apart and say this is what it means. No, it is only a suggestion. Let's examine it. If it works, fine. If it doesn't work, fine.
Fair.
We'll give it up.
I let you once again say that without interrupting you. It is only right that you should be able to defend the party's position and the leader of the opposition. Of course, the viewer will decide for himself whether the questioning was correct or the answer. Let me come to a last point. Many people say that in the last 1 week, both the BJP and the leader of the opposition have created a mess regarding their position on the 123. They've contradicted each other. Mr. Advani has contradicted the party. Now Mr. Advani has contradicted himself. On a situation where you could have scored points against the government, separated the government from the left, and embarrassed both, what have you done? You've ended up embarrassing yourself and dividing yourself.
I don't agree with that at all. I don't think that's anybody's conclusion except your own. And I don't think your viewers are going to agree with that. And I will repeat once again, Mr. Advani was totally misinterpreted. All what he said was completely ignored, and just a few words were picked up, and you were trying to create confusion around those few words by saying that we are in no confusion at all.
The only problem with that articulate defense is that Mr. Advani hasn't made it. You're making it for him. He doesn't say he was misinterpreted. He doesn't say that he was misquoted.
Mr. Advani.
He could have said it himself. He hasn't said it.
You go and do...
His defense is clever silence.
Mr. Karan Thapar, go and do an interview with Mr. Advani. Give him a chance to say what he wants to say.
I'll take your advice, Mr. Sinha.
If you are talking to me, I will defend Mr. Advani as I understand Mr. Advani and his statement.
Mr. Sinha, a pleasure talking to you on Devil's Advocate.